All right, so I wanted to just share a couple of things about Crimson Desert that I've kind of just messing around with and kind of figured out for myself. So as you can see, I only have about 2 hours and 4 minutes played with the game so far. I'm not going to start the game over from scratch, but it's just a couple of things that I've found out. When it comes to just the performance of the game, I feel that Crimson Desert is a very demanding game. I think in order to do like, things like running it at 4K at like 60 frames per second, you definitely need a very strong computer. I do believe that, so I think having solid software or hardware is definitely the thing to do, thing to have, rather. One thing I would say is that it does take a while to get in the game. It kind of does. You're like walking through the afterlife or whatever the hell this is. All right, so like I said, I haven't really done much in the game. I know some of the things that I've changed for the better is, for instance, I changed the preset for performance. I don't care about quality because if we go to quality, as far as I'm concerned, it's not a good experience. When looking at this game, for instance, when I move the camera around, it's very like jarring. It's just not a good experience. I'm never a fan that likes things at 4K if it just doesn't handle it very well. So what I ended up doing is we keep the game in performance. If you have fixed 4K output, I turn that off. So I turn that off. Enhanced ray tracing, I turn that off. I leave night tone mode on. So yeah, so I have it set up like this. So when I apply, now when I move the camera around, look at this. So much more clear. Like this is a day and night difference. Now, the other thing that I like to do, if you want to go a little bit further, is in terms of accessibility. So if you go down here and you see particle effects quality, so if you look in the upper right hand corner, it says adjust the amount of particle effects during gameplay. Lowering this setting may improve performance. So I don't know how many people will probably come down to this, but I run this down to like 70, you know what I'm saying, for me personally. But it's up to you. But I feel like I want to have the game run as optimally as possible. I don't need all the bells and whistles or whatever. And then another thing that I like is there's a feature in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, like where you can have a close-up camera of the character. So when it comes down to camera distance, it's set to 50. So if we set it all the way down to 0, you can see here, just to kind of let this apply. So look at where the camera is. So now when I'm walking around, it's like you're more immersed in the world. And then of course with the particle effects turned down, the game, at least on the Xbox Series X, moves a lot better, a lot cleaner, a lot smoother. And then for me personally, I've always enjoyed a closer camera up on the character. It's almost like it's not first person, but it's very close. Of course, you can change this however way you see fit. Of course, if you do the opposite and go all the way to like 100, right? And then you see this, we apply this and we exit out. Now your camera's way out here, which is fine if this is kind of like, how you want to do things. It's up to the player. But for me personally, I tend to keep this around 20, to be honest. And, you know, I showed prior at 0, but at 20, I feel like this is pretty good. So you're going to see the camera move into Cliff, and it's about at 20. I feel like this is pretty cool, but I kind of, you know, I mess with either 20 or 0. And then, so I kind of like that. Another option is more gameplay related, where when it comes down to dodging. So this would be under gameplay. And there was something that I didn't quite understand, even though I should have. I should have understood it. Oh, no, it's under input. Sorry, it's under input. So when it comes to evasion control, so you can have a hold, which I'm not really a fan of, honestly, because when it's a hold, you click the evasion button once to hold, and you to roll, and then you hold it to dash. So the way this looks, if you do that, so the dash is typically the B button or the circle button on PlayStation. So if I do that, if I tap, right? So if I press the roll button, right, which is B on Xbox, he rolls. But if I hold the button, look at this. Now it's like, you know, it's almost like he's light dashing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's Tekken or something. Now, this might be cool for some people. I'm literally holding the button down, and I'm not doing anything, and he's just dashing automatically. Like, I'm not even, like, you can see my hand in the little up, like, in the webcam screen. So, I'm not a fan of that. I just think that's kind of retarded. So, so I turned, oh, wait. So, I turned evasion control. I left it for repeatedly press. Now, what ends up happening, and this is just personal preference, right? If you leave it like that and you press the evasion button and you basically roll to the side, right? Or roll forward, roll backwards. And in order to kind of skip out of the way, you have to tap it twice, right? You double tap left, double tap right, and so on. So what I liked, and I didn't realize this, is that Crimson Desert allows you to reverse that by it says here, reverse roll and dash input. So it's currently set to off. If I turn it on, so now we set it to on, we apply. Now if I tap the evasion button, now he's just dashing. And if I'm holding the button, nothing's coming out. Now, if I do want to roll out the way, that's where I'll double tap. And I feel, honestly, it just at least in my style of play of playing many of these games, if I'm in combat, I would much rather double tap to initiate a roll than to actually dodge left to right. Because there's not many opportunities that I'm like playing a game like this where I'm having to actually roll out the way like this, unless I'm playing like a Souls like Elden Ring or some shit like that. But in a game like this, you know, I'm looking to kind of dodge out the way and utilize my opening. Also, I have to say, this is my first time seeing rain in the game, and it actually looks pretty good. I gotta mention that actually. It actually doesn't look too bad. I mean, I feel Assassin's Creed Shadows rain looks better in my opinion, but looks pretty good. I don't know what just happened just there. Was that a lightning strike? Oh, wow, that's crazy. Okay, never mind. Shit, lightning can fuck you up in this game, apparently. All right. I didn't know that. First time seeing this. Now, when it comes to the actual attacks themselves, so just getting into the combat, hopefully I don't get hit by lightning in this game. Holding the right bumper, I've noticed that all I really have to do is just hold the button down, because I'm used to just tapping it individually, but you can just hold the button down and you're just going to do your regular standard attack. Now this third strike is mad slow, like he just jumps up, a lot of animation, but it's very slow. However, what I do like is that he does have some cool attacks stepping from the left or to the right, as you see. So you see I step to the left, I hold the right bumper, and he does that strike. If I dash to the right, hold right bumper, he does this strike. If I dash forward and hold right bumper, he does that move. So I do like that. So if you hold the right bumper and press the A button, he does this jumping slash, which looks really, really good. And it comes out faster than if you were to just do the third strike in his string. See, this is like a lot of like time to take. But if you just do that, hold right bumper and just press the A button, that comes out a lot faster. And you can chain that into dashing to the left or to the right. Say, for instance, the 2 light slashes, the spin, dash to the side, and just go into that. So there's lots of little variety that you have when it comes to the combat that I really enjoy, to be perfectly honest. Same thing if I were to do the same thing. If I do right bumper twice, the jumping, let me see, bumper, bumper, jumping slash, sidestep forward. So there's different things you can do to like mix and match your attacks that I really, really do appreciate. Also, he also has this move where you hold the right bumper and hit the Y button, which would be triangle on PlayStation, where you can even hold it down. So that's pretty cool. Takes a little bit of stamina, but stamina seems to come back pretty quick. So that means I can do bumper, bumper, A, transition into this, right? Sidestep, do that particular move. Like, so there's a lot of creativity to your offense if you want it. And this is just the sword and the shield. If I go into the options here and go under skills, if you zoom in here, all of these are pretty much unlocked. You do have like levels that you can build these up. So this is like the spinning slash. This one takes a bit of spirit, so it's kind of like more like a special move. But the one that I was doing where I was spinning was, I believe, this one. So this is where you hold the right bumper and press the A button to perform a short leap and slash the enemy while leaping. And this takes 30 stamina, but it doesn't take much. And you can build this up one additional level. And this skill I don't have unlocked yet, but you can do a finisher while you're blinding the enemy, which is cool because even the blinding thing, which is left bumper and right bumper, you can just do this. And I think this is such a very unique trait in this game. I haven't really seen something like this done. I have heard that Legend of Zelda did something like this. I think it might have been Skyborn Princess, Twilight Princess, something like that, where you can redirect light. Because here on the screen, if you press the left bumper, you can focus light, and then you can use that to blind enemies, which is like really, really cool. You know, so and then you can enhance this particular tactic. So I think that this game has a lot of attack variety. It's definitely something that I really do like. I would say it takes a little time getting used to, but I feel like the depth is there if you want it. And I think that that's always best when it comes to games like these. You know, sometimes you just want something simplistic. And yeah, if you just want to hold left bumper and just do your standard attack, or left bumper and end off with your right strike, I mean your right bumper, excuse me, your right trigger strike, which takes some stamina, you can do that too. I really think that the options is almost endless. And it's actually one of the other reasons why I love Assassin's Creed Shadows, because you get a very similar combat variety. And for a game where you're going to be playing for like upwards of 100-something hours, you know, for somebody like me, I want my character to look good in terms of like it's aesthetically pleasing. It doesn't look like the character looks deformed. Like this character here, he has a good character model. He has good walking animation. He doesn't look like he doesn't look like a lumbering fool. It's very much like, you know, it's a game, but you know, it's kind of like a realistic movement at least. The running animation is pretty good as well. I think this is really good running animation, if I have to say. The sprinting looks really good as well. Obviously, sprinting takes stamina, which I'm in support of. But the general run, you can do this however long you want, so that's pretty cool. So I like the character animation when it comes to just his general movement. I like how the items and weapons are adorned on him. Another thing that I really do like is just little things you can interact with in the just out. Look at that. He just hopped up this little rock here. Look at this. It's crazy. So I like that the game, the developers recognize elevation when it comes to the world. I think that's pretty cool. You can see him trying to get over it in different ways. So I think that's pretty cool how you can traverse little environmental things that changes in elevation. I think that's pretty cool. You have the little things you see where it says dragonfly, so I can catch this. So I have like little things you can catch if you want. Things that have a question mark. They are new items. So you can see it says green bird wing butterfly knowledge acquired. So if you just really want to immerse yourself in the world of this game, if you want to just do whatever, I think that's the strength of this game. You know, people that have bitched and complained about the game's story, I think they're missing the greater point of this game. I think that this game is a true sandbox experience. It is literally what I would call an adventure sandbox. More like how I look at Assassin's Creed Shadows as more of a shinobi feudal Japan sandbox to live out my shinobi desires, I guess, for lack of better phrase or expression. A game like this, you know, you're able to lose like a lot of hours just doing what many would probably consider mundane tasks. But if it's something that you enjoy doing, I like that Pearl Abyss, the game's developer, they allow you to do this. They allow you to live this out if you want. And all these little knick-knack things that you're capturing, I think if you go into the journal, if we go to, let's see, knowledge, if you really want to look into like different lore and different things, you have that. I think it's pretty cool. I think you're right. I think we got different creatures. We got the tropical butterfly. So these, I always feel that it's always better to give player an option to do certain things. If they choose to engage with it, that's fine. If they choose not to, that's fine as well. Because what you don't engage in, you know, another player may actually do that. So I feel like the world is rich. It's almost like the world itself is its own character. I also like another thing where, let's see, there are people that you can literally greet and interact. You can just walk up to people and start talking to them, but not necessarily in the true traditional sense. It's like, for instance, you can see the little X, the X button here. It says greet. So I can,
welcome to you.
Oh, so some of them may talk to you directly. This lady right here, I guess it shows, I'm pretty sure that's not her name, but it's showing that she's a stranger. I can hold X to greet.
Long as we can
and I build some trust. So this is something else that, you know, you can kind of establish different bonds with characters. You can talk with them. Same with this lady here. I can greet her. Another trust.
The taken over again.
You know, not everybody will appreciate stuff like that. And then you never know what you might come across when it comes to like different quests and stuff of that nature. If I haven't said so already, I haven't really gone anywhere in this game, really. I'm still very much at the beginning. But I just wanted to share my appreciation for what the developers over at Pearl Abyss, what they've managed to create with this game. Not to mention their ongoing support. You know, even you can pluck flowers and such. And I like that if you look at it, you see how he takes the flower out and kind of puts it in his pocket? You can actually see him take something out the ground like that and put it away pretty quick. So I think that's pretty cool. You know, another thing, if you tap, let me see, what is it? Oh, okay. If you hold left on the directional key, you open up this little quick item thing here. If you go, oh, what's this?
You're a good one.
Oh, wow, I didn't even know that. Okay, that happened randomly. Okay. I don't know what that was about. Oh, okay, I got somebody's letter. Okay. Anyway, so if I hold the right, you got your function, you got your herbs and stuff like that, things you collected. This gives you 60% health. This gives you 1 spirit. This gives you +5 stamina. So you actually you're incentivized to be like a flower collector because like these things give you different buffs. So it really I do appreciate that it does incentivize you to do different things. Of course, if we go to skills, this is your skill tree. So you see, I haven't really done anything in this game really, but I would imagine. I mean, I'm assuming that these little circles here, maybe that might be something for like added skills later that you might gain access to. I mean, I'm just kind of spitballing here. You got your stamina, basically blue, green, you have your spirit, and then red, you have your health. And all of this seems to be more so kind of like special powers. You can see here imbue element, and then you see how the gold lines go to 4 quadrants here. So this is like frost, and this is over here is flame. So you can imbue your weapon with fire if you want. You got this. This is like storm, just showing the little video here, stock footage here. These are all things you can unlock. You got lightning surge if you want to live out your Emperor Palpatine and just electrocute people. So this game definitely has a lot of variety. You know, I'm sure over the many hours that I'll invest in this game, I'm going to just come across a crazy amount of things to do, see, and experience. But just as a person who's just maybe an hour into the game, somebody that has spent many decades playing these sort of games, you know, definitely this is well worth all of the money. If you don't own this game, I strongly suggest you look very hard into it. The developer Pearl Abyss have been making updates to this game left and right. I think they made an update literally today when I recorded this video. So, you know, a lot of stability, a lot of things like that, adding quality of life things. I think the last update they added, one of the things, you know, obviously you can go to the patch notes for it. So you can take away the heads up display if you want. I guess apparently you weren't able to do this before. So it says here in the gameplay section, hide minimap and status. So right now I have no heads up display. So you would do this typically if you really want a true immersive experience. If you don't want nothing on the screen, you want to feel like a true adventurer going from town to town, you know, this is the thing for you. This is something else they've done in like AC Shadows, where, you know, and other games like this where you can just really fully immerse yourself by having next to nothing on the screen that's you know, telling you where to go or whatever. You know, as you can see, it's just me and the character. You know, so some people do like this, and I'm glad that that was added in the last update along other things. Another cool thing is just looking at the townspeople. Like, they're like going about their own job. These people carrying, I guess, fruits and such. So that's pretty cool. So this is like really a living, breathing world, at least for a video game standpoint. A lot of detail, a lot of effort gone into this. You know, so of course, you know, I'm not looking to sacrifice frame rate just for resolution. You know, I want to enjoy what I'm looking at. I can care less about 4K if I have to sacrifice the 60 FPS to get there. But yeah, there's, you know, there's a lot of good about this game that I really like. And also, in addition, getting back to the weapons aspect, here on the screen, it's all context sensitive, so you can see the switch weapon is the Y button, A is for details. So if I hit the Y button, the little upper right hand corner shows you like the little spear, what you can do with the spear. The spear has its own skills. I don't currently have a spear right now. Same thing with just the long sword. You can do that as well. You know, so it just, I like the weapon variety. You have dual wielding blades here. You also have hand to hand combat if you want. You have flying punch. If you want to duff somebody out, you have a roundhouse kick. Like you could be like like a taekwondo fighter. You still have blinding flash if you want. Let me see what else they got over here. They have Iron Fist, so I guess yeah, you got all this. What's this one? You have a shield dash if you have your shield handy. Tiger's Fury. This looks like something that Akira would do in Virtua Fighter, so you can do that. What else? Oh, up here, you have a clothesline, so you can duff somebody out with a clothesline. This is ridiculous. Here you have grappling. You can chuck somebody off a cliff if you want to. This is absolutely absurd. You have a body slam, literally a body slam. Like this is crazy. Let me see. You have a pump kick. That's crazy. So you have a lot of craziness that you could do. This is a drop kick right here, like if you're Shawn Michaels, and it shows you how far back I'm going. So you got that. Vault. This one I'm looking forward to getting because you could do this in Assassin's Creed Shadows with Now Wave specifically. You can attack the enemy, you can vault over behind them, and follow up your assault. So I look forward to getting that. And of course, you have your skills with the bow and arrow and stuff. If you want to play like more of a rogue type build, charge shot, and then of course you can use these icons here to enhance your already existing particular attack type. So, for instance, if we go back to the sword and shield, I can invest up to 4 more times for this. That will increase the damage of my melee attack weapons and such. So there's like a ton of things you can do. If you're a lore person, you have a countless things you can read up on, and so this is a really good quality game. And I understand Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out in November, but I would venture to say that, you know what, I think this game, I think it's worthy of being a Game of the Year not nominee. I think this game should be in the running for Game of the Year. I don't feel that if you're looking at Game of the Year candidates, I think it would be absolutely crazy to leave this game off your list. But I can understand if you've never played it, that would make sense. But for me, even with this little bit that I've been exploring, I can see myself like really losing it in playing this game a lot. And I mean, if the fact that I've been yapping about it for as long as I have so far, I think it's indicative of that. So it just, yeah, I think that's really all I can say about it. And so yeah, this is Crimson Desert. This is by the creators of I think Black Desert. Pearl Abyss is the name of the company. I believe they're a Korean developer. So yeah, and I'm currently live right now as I'm recording this, but I will be uploading this segment to YouTube shortly after I conclude this live. And what I'll say right now is this game is very, very well done. There's a ton of detail in this game. I think people were expecting a Witcher 3 style story, which is why people are probably criticizing it for saying it doesn't have story. I can't speak to that because I've literally only played it for an hour. But if we're just talking about world building, we're talking about the interactivity of characters. Like if I go up to this guy here and you see this is a wandering free sword, I can greet him if I wanted to.
Think you can cross a free sword and walk
Think you
free?
can cross a free sword or
Not a
whatever.
chance.
Not a chance. Traders I
Traitors
deal
I
with
deal with
personally.
personally.
So yeah, so you can talk to people. You can engage, in conversation. I think maybe, if I'm not mistaken, I think you probably have emojis or something. You know, in those games where you have like little actions you can take, like maybe you can bow or something. I don't know if they have that. They probably do, for all I know. But yeah, this game has certain puzzles. This game has different traversal mechanics. This game has pets that you can grow. They have pets you can collect. They have dragons you can fly on top of. You can raise them from an egg. Like, there's a lot of crazy and wondrous things you can do in this game. And I don't know everything, but from what I can see here, it's very, very impressive. I'll greet this lady right here.
I could
So,
spend days at the
so we
jewelers.
have a noble, trust plus
Not for my
5,
amusement, of course.
you
It's all
know,
part of my noble
and
duty.
so yeah, you can just build that. You can build off of that alone. You can kind of work on building your trust with different factions, different characters. I would imagine if your trust is pretty high,
Circumstances change.
you might be
That is
able to
the
get
nature of
certain
rule.
things. You might be able to buy things at lower prices. So I really do appreciate that. And, I mentioned earlier that I really do appreciate the character animations of how he walks and, how he runs and how he sprints. I think the animations are very well done, so I think that's pretty cool. And so yeah, I think there really isn't much else for me to say off the top of my head right now. Lots of little cool particle effects. You have like these little, you can see like little fireflies. You can even see them you can actually see them individually depending on how I move the camera. You can see it's not just a light. You can see that like they're actually like a bug. You can actually see it if I don't know how it looks on YouTube, but it's very, very impressive. Very impressive. And so yeah, over the course of time, I will be playing more of this game and just kind of diving deeper. I might start from scratch just to kind of start over and just kind of mentally just immerse myself in the world. And yeah, so I guess that's about it. So stay tuned for this to be uploaded, and hopefully if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, hopefully you'll do so. It's free to do so. Follow me over on my Twitch, and I think that's about it.